Lillian, Dixon, Ambrose, 92 years old, 92 plus.
Genevieve slaughtered. Wagner slaughtered. 86, I was 87 this year.
I was actually born in Iberia Parish, where my mother came from. But then I was reared in Weeks Island, Louisiana. Weeks Island is about 22 miles from the Iberia Parish line. And it's out toward the Gulf of Mexico. The island itself, I would say, is a very, very inviting place. It was hilly, and where I lived on the hill, you could look out over the bayou of the land that moved into the Gulf of Mexico.
Grew up in Patoutville in a small community called Cherry Grove. Sometimes they call it Gidry, which belongs to the Patoutville. And the reason the name Cherry Grove is because there are a lot of cherry trees and but about 2.5 miles from where we used to live to the quarter. Those grandparents of some of the Patouts that we know that on the place out here, Peter and I would talk all the time, Peter Patou, and I was showing the area where my daddy's great uncle Henry Wagner was bought from as a slave. He was on the, what they call it, the slave block in Galveston during that year. And the Patou great-grand or great-great-grandparent was the lady. She wanted Henry Wagner because when he put him on the block, I was told, and they checked him out, she thought, well, if he was a strong man, he heavy guy. And she chose him. And I didn't forget how much she had to pay for him. Wasn't that but? Boy, that's how, that's what we were told about Henry.
There were many families that lived there. They worked for a company that owned a salt mine there. The salt mine was Miles and YLES Salt Company. And the houses were supplied by the company for its workers. And as long as there was someone of age to work for the company, you allowed to live on the island. On the island, we had no electricity at the time. We did not have running water. We did not have inside bathrooms. But we had what we needed. Yes, there was segregation. Yes, the whites had what they had on that side of the island. We had what we had on that side of the island. So they all worked in the mill and in the mine. And during the war, when they called men to war, many women went to work in the mill, my mother included, worked in the mill.
My name is Wagner Bourgeois Wagner. My dad's name was Alton Wagner. See, they both worked the field, and Mom worked in the kitchen when there wasn't work to do in the field that they could do. And in the field was the only thing I knew my dad here, who took care of the horses and the other animals at times. But that's the only type of work he did. He didn't go to school to learn or to get an education, but they didn't have those tools like they have later different years, like in the 40s, the 50s. He worked on what they call a slide they would use in the field to open up the rows where the sugar cane grew. And it was the meal that proved the trial.
But we got a good education.
Through my mother, we noticed the difference in his learning something in the education that way.
We had a schoolhouse, which was housed in the Baptist church that had been built by the company for the black people in the same area where the blacks lived, from the mine past the mine on the other side was the white community.
We have a school past our church about 2 or 3 feet down. We went to school there from that age, like 6 or 7. We was able to come from school and work at least 3 hours in the field. And the sugar cane was the time to the sugar cane crops to go to the mill and make sugar, syrup, whatever they said. They opened the school, closed the school like here in Patoutville. And we began to go to school in Genevieve. And I probably was in 4th grade, 4th or 5th grade in Genevieve. And continued school until I graduated in high school, Genevieve College High School.
What I would like them to know is that it was a beautiful place to live. The island itself, soul itself, if you went there and just saw the beauty of the island, you know, you would want to live there, you know. And then having the efficiencies and, of course, having the mind, if you're willing to work, you could work there and earn a good living, because they had everything they need there, you know. And we didn't worry about what the white had. The whites didn't bother us. We didn't bother them. So we lived and got along very well. I grew up there to be 18 when we moved here to New Iberia, and I never heard anybody else complaining about why they would not want to have lived there.
We had fun. I could remember that. We did things that normally children today would do. That's about I was young, I was fun. Yeah, I think it's a good place. It was like be there. But the sugar mills team there brought a lot of people jobs from New Iberia and other areas, which is good. If I had to live in the country and raise my children all over again, I would certainly do it again. Because when I moved to this area, it still calls it Patoutville, but it's not Patoutville's Tropical Valley. our children are young and raising to themselves. They never forgot their friends and relatives. They left behind. Yeah. People very friendly. Love to eat, drink, and whatever else, but they will invite others to come in that they want.